Yet another free agency without a big splash by the Dallas Cowboys. What a surprise. Despite entertaining Earl Thomas rumors for a long time, the Cowboys front office has stuck with its philosophy of not overpaying free agents and building the team mainly through the NFL draft. However, they've actually had some pretty good signings over the last few days that will really benefit the Cowboys when the season comes around. They've done so with inexpensive free agents who will contribute at a high level on their respective positions. Sure, top free agent signings are fun, but many times, they end up backfiring to teams for spending so much money in one single player. At the end of the day, the Cowboys' way has gotten the team 3 NFC East championships since 2014. Many factors come into play, but their team-building philosophy can't be as bad as many claim it to be. The most recent acquisition came in form of former Cincinnati Bengal and Minnesota Vikings safety George Iloka. The Cowboys had a desperate need at the defensive backfield and finally they've done something about it. On a heavy safety market, the Cowboys sat tight while watching the top free agents get top contracts around the league, including Landon Collins' record-breaking deal with the Washington Redskins. Now, they've gotten a guy who can play both safety positions. I'll be surprised if he doesn't take Jeff Heath's job. He's played as a free safety most of his career, but being a good tackler, he should do a good job in the box. Iloka will also shine on special teams in Dallas. So far, my favorite signing may be that of former Green Bay Packer, Randall Cobb. The Cowboys had an important need at the wide receiver position despite counting with Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup leading the room. Cole Beasley is a tough guy to replace, and although Cobb may not be a better slot receiver than him, he certainly has the experience and the skill set to be a starting slot WR. What's more, he'll only cost the Cowboys $5 million while Beasley got a 4-year deal with which he'll earn $17 million over the first 2 years. Cole Beasley will be missed, but the good thing is the front office did a pretty good job at filling the concerning hole on offense. Cooper, Gallup and Cobb are definitely not a bad starting trio to have. Other under-the-radar moves will also help the Cowboys. Kerry Hyder may not be a well-known in the NFL, but he'll surely contribute to this defensive line as a rotational player. Hyder had 8 sacks in 2016 with the Detroit Lions before suffering an Achilles injury in 2017 and dealing with a scheme change last season. Hyder will surely be happy about being back to a 4-3 defense in Dallas. Christian Covington was another overlooked signing. Covington will help on the interior of the defensive line, and although he'll likely not be a starter, he'll be an important piece in the rotation for a very reasonable contract, also a 1-year deal. For a football team that's constantly criticized for not being active in free agency, the Cowboys have done something at pretty much every position where they need help. Safety, defensive end, defensive tackle, wide receiver and tight end have all been addressed this offseason prior to the NFL draft. This will give them great flexibility in April and could lead to a pretty good best player available strategy. Now granted, there are still concerns regarding the young-to-be-extended group of players. DeMarcus Lawrence hasn't reached an agreement with the Cowboys and will continue to postpone surgery until he does. If the front office doesn't strike a contract with the star pass rusher, it won't be possible to consider this offseason a good one no matter what happens. Dallas can't let him leave. In the meantime though, they've had a pretty quiet yet successful March. And they're not done yet. Robert Quinn could end up wearing the star if a trade with the Miami Dolphins does end up taking place. We'll see if the Cowboys continue to build on an already pretty good free agency. The Dallas Cowboys have reached a 1-year agreement with safety George Iloka, according to ESPN's Todd Archer. Iloka spent 2018 with the Vikings after 6 years with the Bengals. He's started 79 of his 99 career games since being a 5th-round pick by Cincinnati in 2012. Iloka turns 29 years old next week. The Cowboys have agreed to a one-year deal with safety George Iloka, according to a source. Iloka met with the Cowboys on Friday and was the third safety to meet with the club during the week along with Clayton Geathers and Eric Berry. The Cowboys have https://t.co/jb5njl Webeck. This isn't the safety that most Cowboys fans wanted. After over a year of pining for Earl Thomas, sights turned to Eric Berry after his free agent visit in Dallas last week. However, it makes sense that Iloka would be attractive to the Cowboys. At 6 feet 4 inches and 225 pounds, he fits the physical mold of what defensive backs coach Chris Richard likes in his players. He also is younger than Berry and Thomas without the same recent injury issues. Iloka becomes one of many Boise Street products on Dallas roster, joining Tyrone Crawford, DeMarcus Lawrence, Leighton Vander Esch, and others. He entered the league with college teammates Crawford and Kellen Moore, the Cowboys' new offensive coordinator, in 2012. We'll have to wait and see how George Iloka fits into the current mix at safety with Jeff Heath and Xavier Woods. He spent most of 2018 as a backup with Minnesota, but Dallas will likely give him a chance to start. In a span of a week, the Dallas Cowboys have solidified their wide receiver group with the resigning of Tavon Austin to a one-year deal and the signing of former Green Bay Packers wide receiver Randall Cobb. Despite the loss of Cole Beasley, the Cowboys have created a really good group of receivers for quarterback Dak Prescott to throw to. Cobb joins a really nice group of players that includes incumbent starters on the outside in Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup, as well as solid depth players in Austin, Allen Hurns, and Noah Brown. Throw in Cedric Wilson, the Dallas Cowboys' 6th-round pick from the 2018 NFL Draft, and the Cowboys may have one of the deeper receiving core in the NFL. The question is, how will the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff delineate the roles? Let's take a look. Outside receivers. As I mentioned before, the Dallas Cowboys are returning their top two options on the outside in Amari Cooper, who is the X-wide receiver, and Michael Gallup, the Z receiver. Both players will go into Week 1 as the starters at their respective positions in two wide receiver formations. Despite some of the overthrows from Dak Prescott to Michael Gallup, Gallup had a really nice rookie season and got better as the year went along, even leading the Cowboys in receiving in the playoff loss to the Los Angeles Rams. In that game, Gallup recorded the first 100-yard game of his career. Sure, it was in an attempt to come back by the Dallas Cowboys, but it is impressive nonetheless. His touchdown catch against the Seattle Seahawks the week before was clutch. The Cowboys needed that to take the lead at the end of the first half. 2018 was only the beginning for Michael Gallup. He showed an ability to win with a full off-season to work with Dak Prescott. Their chemistry and connection should only improve. As for Cooper, his presence was felt right away as the offense just looked different once he stepped on the field. It's no coincidence that Dak Prescott's two best career games in terms of passing yardage came with Cooper in 2018. He's such a threat that he opens up space for the rest of the wide receiver group. His route running, speed, ability to run after the catch make him a threat to score anytime he's targeted. Behind Cooper and Gallup, you have options in the event that one of them gets hurt. Allen Hurns, Tavon Austin, and Noah Brown are all players who took snaps on the outside for the Dallas Cowboys in 2018 and did so with effectiveness. Hurns' best game of the year came just before the Cooper deal was made as he went for 5 receptions for 75 yards. Tavon provided downfield speed on several occasions and provides some gadget quality that the Dallas Cowboys love to have. Noah Brown is a player that the Dallas Cowboys love to deploy as a blocker in the running game. While it looked like he might get more run in the passing game in 2019, the depth additions will limit him again to a specialty role. If needed, though, he could be an option to take snaps on the outside as his big frame allows him to box out defensive backs down the field. There will be snaps on the outside for someone when the Cowboys go to 11 personnel, because of Amari Cooper's ability to slide into the slot. slot receiver. Obviously, the writing is on the wall with who the Dallas Cowboys are planning on deploying in the slot as things stand right now, and that's Randall Cobb. While Cobb should be penciled in as the starter in the slot, I doubt that he's going to get 100% of the snaps there in 11 or 10 personnel groupings. Amari Cooper, Allen Hurns, Tavon Austin, Noah Brown, and Cedric Wilson could all push for playing time from the slot. Last month, I wrote a piece about Allen Hurns and his effectiveness in the slot and why the Cowboys should feature him there. With Cobb coming off an injury-laden season, the Cowboys would be wise to give some snaps to Hurns along with Tavon Austin. In Jacksonville, Hurns was incredibly effective from the slot, running posts, slants, and ins and outs. His size and route running made him an effective mismatch against linebackers, safeties, and cornerbacks alike. Remember, it wasn't long ago that Hurns had a 1,000-yard season with Blake Bortles at the helm. Tavon Austin's quickness is an asset that could be very effective in the slot as well. Though he lacks size, he's a player that opposing defenses have to account for because of his ability to make big plays once the ball's in his hands. The Cowboys haven't been shy about carrying 7 wide receivers on their 53-man rosters, and it's possible, though unlikely, that they could do it again in 2018. As things stand now, I see Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson as the potential odd men out. Of course, this could all get reshuffled if the Dallas Cowboys use a top 100 pick on a wide receiver in the draft. With Amari Cooper, Allen Hurns, Tavon Austin, and Randall Cobb only under contract through the 2019 season, the Dallas Cowboys would be wise to invest at the position despite the strength of the position in 2019. As the Dallas Cowboys continue the process of building a roster capable of taking them back to the playoffs, and hopefully to a Super Bowl, this next season, they're bringing in another safety to try and strengthen their top 10 defense. This time it's free agent safety George Iloka, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings. Per NFL Network's Ian Rapoport, the Dallas Cowboys are set to meet with the they're still looking to add in the secondary. It will be the third meeting this week that they've had with a veteran safety after hosting recently resigned Indianapolis's Colts safety Clayton Geathers and former Kansas City Chiefs safety Eric Berry. The Cowboys feel really good about Xavier Woods at safety, but definitely could use some depth at the position as they head toward the 2019 NFL Draft. Iloka is coming off a season where he was relegated to a reserve role for the Vikings. In 5 of the last 6 seasons, Iloka's played all 16 games, and the one season he didn't, he played 12. He has 9 career interceptions, and has 3 seasons with more than 70 total tackles. Back in August of last year, Brian Martin argued that the Dallas Cowboys should pursue Iloka after being released by the Cincinnati Bengals. He would play the strong or box safety role in the Cowboys' defense if they were to come to an agreement. Stay tuned for more free agency coverage from us here at InsideTheStar.com.